Hey guys, good evening. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to IFYL Inspirations for Your Life. It is March 8th. We're trying to get a little back on track here. It looks like we're about 85% back on track with activities and stuff. So it's 11:23. We're before the midnight, which is always great, but I always promise to get these out to you before I go to sleep. So let's get into our master topic. Before we do, I want to thank you for being here, whether you're here at 11:20 at night, 11:20 in the morning, or perhaps 3 a.m., 3 p.m., or even 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. Whatever it is, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate that very much. Um, Here's our weekly master topic: How to Live a Life with Passion, Series 3, which means we're in the third year. We're on show 10. And the granular topic, ladies and gentlemen, for just today, in case you're just joining in and wondering what we're doing, it is Spark Your Soul, a journey with John C. Morley, Series 3, show 10, episode number 7. And this will close out How to Live a Life with Passion. We've been talking a lot about this all week. If your life is not with passion, then I don't think you can actually have a fulfilling life. I really don't. You'll see my hat there, believemeachieve.com. I'll just bow down so you can see it. Believemeachieve.com. All right, or you can scan the QR code. Either one works. So let's get on the first thing I want to talk about, which is what do you spend your free time on? So in order to be passionate, you want to learn what you're spending your free time on, because this is a good indicator how you're investing that precious time and activities that are basically nourishing your soul and your body and bringing you closer to your dreams. So your time is priceless. It's very valuable. Once you lose your time, you can't get it back. So we want to make every moment count. So I have a question for all of you guys. What do you spend your time, your free time on? And you might say, John, I don't know. Well, take a conscious effort to actually think about it. For me, I meditate, I read, I journal. Um, I like to walk. I like to run. I like to cook. I like to watch inspiring YouTube videos. Uh, I like to do photography. Uh, I like to get my mind thinking on how to solve challenges. Okay. I like to sing. Now, of course, I like to blog, and create all kinds of amazing content when I'm not video producing, right? Or doing IT and tech work. So that's what I spend my free time on. My question is, what do you spend your free time on? Because if you don't know what you spend your free time on, there's a very good shot that you're actually not going to be happy with the life you're living. Okay. I will tell you that if you don't take the time to do this, then you're going to be very, very sorry. Okay. You're going to be very, very sorry. I'll tell you that it's something you have to think about. It's not something you just do. It's something you really got to be conscious about. Okay. So be conscious about it. And when you do, you'll find that your life basically changes. But I don't want to tell you that it's going to change overnight. Um, the reason I say this to you is that you have to be deliberate and conscious on your purpose. Okay. You have to be deliberate and conscious on your purpose. If you're not, then I think that could be a very, very big problem. A very, very big problem. I will tell you that it's got to be in your heart. You've got to know what's going on. You've got to know what steps you're taking, right? You've got to do the dance. And if you don't know what the dance is, then chances are you're probably getting lost by a lot of things in life, not because you want to, but it's happening. And this is happening for one reason. And this is happening because you are confused. And this happens when we get inundated with so many things. We don't know which way to turn, how to do anything. So that's great. Thank you so much for the like there. And it's important. So let's move on to the next topic, which is get out of your comfort zone. You've heard me say this, ladies and gentlemen, at least a million or a dozen times, right? You need to get out of your comfort zone. You need to practice uh, being comfortable, uncomfortable. That's right, I said it. So practice being comfortable, uncomfortable. Practice being comfortable, uncomfortable. And so, what does that really mean? So, you get comfortable being uncomfortable. So, the U.S. Navy SEALs are known for a saying, and I'm going to quote them: "Get comfortable being uncomfortable." That's the U.S. Navy SEALs uh, motto. And if they say it, it's pretty powerful. And it's a way that team members can grow and achieve what they call the impossible. Because I think the impossible is like that side, just that other side that we're afraid to go to. So, what's the difference between being uncomfortable and being scared? Well, the difference between being scared and being uncomfortable is uncomfortable means that you are in a situation where things are unfamiliar, outside the norm, and unpredictable. Maybe, for example, maybe you are maybe you're right-handed, and I tell you to write with your left hand. I don't practice being ambidextrous, right? You can be uncomfortable without being scared. So being comfortable is normal and a healthy part of life that can be avoided. And when faced with something new or different, most people experience some degree of discomfort. So how to get comfortable being uncomfortable? Take risks and challenge yourself by doing uncomfortable things, right? Try new things like a new food, a new activity, explore new experiences, even if they're different than what you're used to. Get comfortable with discomfort in social settings. Maybe you're not a conversationalist. Well, try striking up a conversation. Get comfortable being different. Get comfortable challenging beliefs, ideas, or opinions, or yourself or others. Make a list of some activities that you'd really like to do that make you uncomfortable. Make a promise to yourself to slowly go through your list and complete the task. How to feel less vulnerable when outside your comfort zone? Stop comparing yourself to others and focus on your own personal growth. Okay? Start small when trying something new and, don't get discouraged. Do something very small. Tell yourself that other people are also outside their comfort zone too. Practice mindful meditation. I've said this many times. Do activities with friends or get some practice, right? So it's important to push the boundaries, to push the envelope just a little bit further. Why? Because when we push that envelope further, we become a better version of ourselves. I think that is just like, I don't know you, but I think that's like the bee's knees. That is like really good. So I had somebody ask you this before, John. What do you mean by the bee's knees? Well, it's expression. Okay. It was original in the 18th century. It was referred to something that didn't exist. It was used as a kind of spoof item, and apprentices would be sent to the stores to fetch like a tartan paint or a left-handed hammer. Um, the meaning is no longer used anymore, but people still use it. And what it basically means is like that's it, like that's the top, like that's like it's like excellent according to Merriam-Webster. It's an excellent or much like person or thing. It's like, oh my gosh, that you're the bee's knees, or that show is the bee's knees, right? So that's how it's being used. And I think when you can start showing up for yourself and you can start getting what's going on in your mind, you can start creating things. Your brain wants to go further. I think that's really the really cool thing. All right, let's get on to our next topic. Our next topic is building belief. So this is a question that a lot of people wrestle with. How do you build belief in yourself? Well, this can take some time. Rather than sit in a corner worrying that you look awkward, branch out and strike up conversations, right? That's one thing we talked about. You have to believe, right? build strong beliefs. And I think when you can take a small baby step, then you're able to take a medium step and eventually a larger step. So self confidence helps us to live a very amazing life. But many times that we don't achieve our dreams, it's not because we're not capable, it's because we get scared in our tracks, right? I love public speaking, but a lot of people cringe at public speaking. They might have had a bad situation where somebody heckled them. I'll give you an example. So I've done stand up comedy before. And I remember the first time I did it, I was getting heckled by all these, people that have been doing it for many years. And it put me in an awkward position. And so I just had to kind of like deal with it. And I just kind of heckled them back. And it worked. But many people would just give up or not want to approach that because of that whole scenario. Does that make sense, everybody? Hopefully it does. So when we talk about, basically building belief starts with your mind, what you tell yourself, your self talk, right? That's what building belief, ladies and gentlemen, is completely about. It is you building belief. It's you anchoring a thought. It's you creating those endorphins or raising that level of dopamine or serotonin in your brain. Because when you do this, it's like you don't just have a physical transformation, you have a chemical transformation. And just explain a little bit about this. So in our body, we have synapses. And so when there's a break between the neuron and the dendrites and has to have that little gap, in order for it to get from one side to the other side, it has to change its message from being electrical to being chemical. And then the chemical transfers it over the gap, and then it goes back into electrical energy. That's pretty cool, right? So what am I saying here? I'm saying that you need to adapt to what's going on in your life. So let me see if I can give you some examples. So some ways you can adapt in life. So I guess the best one I can share with you is change. Many people don't like change. They're afraid of change. But you have to build resilience. You have to realize that the main key to this is your emotional well-being. Okay. Honing in on your problem-solving abilities, improve your self-esteem, increase opportunities, preserve your resources, and develop an internal sense of safety. Why is it hard to adapt to change? Well, we always want to seek out safety and familiarity. So we're afraid. We'll hide under the covers or we'll, run when there is the slightest sight of danger. Many people don't want to change because it can cause great discomfort. And to let go of those reins is uncharted territories, right? Humans and other types of creatures respond to threats. And we have to be able to build trust to get through that. It could be things like projection, denial, splitting, or repression. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? So splitting is borderline personality disorder is when you're going between beliefs and situations by extremes, such as either good or bad. And you can go from happy one moment to crying the next. Now, if you don't adapt to change, you resist change, you'll feel stagnant. You'll feel stuck. You'll limit your growth. You'll stifle your creativity. You'll reduce your chances for a connection. And so how does a chameleon change? Well, chameleons are pretty cool. Okay. So it's a chameleon animal, right? So a chameleon it's in the family of reptiles. Okay, in case you guys didn't know. and they're distinctive, animals. And so you're probably, how does a chameleon, if I had to ask this question, change? Well, chameleons are pretty remarkable. Okay. Scientists were in search of the key to chameleons, the incredible color changing ability to say they found the answer. So it's a lattice of nanocrystals beneath the lizard's skin that reflect different wavelengths of light. That's amazing. And reptiles are known to shift hues by two means: warm and dark colors, adjusting dispersal of dark or light pigments in cells. Within skin colors, blues and whites, on the other hand, and deemed structural colors. So again, they can adjust dispersals of dark or light pigments in cells within skin layers, blues and whites. And on the other hand, they can also deem structural colors emerge from light bouncing off physical elements. That's pretty cool. So you have the skin layers, and then they have the structural colors. That's amazing. So chameleons can adjust some skin pigments to appear lighter or darker, but until recently, scientists didn't know that the same sort of process was happening when the animals radically adjusted their appearance in bright colors like reds and yellows. So this was pretty cool. And when they observed this phenomenon, and let's say dissecting the panther chameleons, a team of Swiss scientists found that the animals have two superposed thick layers of iridophore cells that have pigments and reflect light. Within these iridophore cells are a variety of nanocrystals that work together. And this is absolutely amazing. So a chameleon can adjust the wavelengths of light reflected in these tiny crystals. And the team watched the process in both live animals and in samples of chameleon skin. And when they tensed the skin by drying it up, they saw the same drastic change in color. The study found that beneath the lattice of the crystals was a deep skin layer that reflects near infrared light, which likely helps the lizard to stay cool in heat of sun. And so there's amazing things because they're able to do some really neat things. And there's a bit about chameleons that you probably didn't know. The animal's radical color changes, which can take minutes to fully unfold, aren't performed to blend in with their surroundings, as children books often say. Rather, they change outfits to communicate to other lizards and to react to temperature or moods. And not all chameleons can go technicolors, what they call it, quote unquote. Some can only range from green, brown, and gray, but panther chameleons found in the Madagascar and the focus of the study many studies can exhibit exotic blues, yellows, greens, and reds. So again, we think about chameleons in our life because we think about blending in, but that's not the reason why chameleons actually are able to change skin. It has to do with their moods and different things like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's been a privilege, been a pleasure, been an honor to be with you this fantastic, amazing Friday evening. Of course, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. If you missed any part of this series, be sure to go to believemeachieve.com. Check out IFYL, Inspirations for Your Life. And you can always listen to the audio cast 24 hours after the show. You can also visit my YouTube channel, John C. Morley, Serial Entrepreneur. You can get all that from my hat, believemeachieve.com, or scan the QR code. Also, remember to follow and like us on TikTok. We want to reach over 1,000 subscribers. I thank you so much for being with me tonight. I'm going to catch you guys real soon, all right? Take care, everyone.